Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Coe Show. My name is Mason Coe, here as always with my co-host Aaron Coe.
Howdy.
Today is Tuesday, June 8th, and today we got some NFL news. We got the playoffs moving along to the second round. But before we get into that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. Follow us on Twitter at Mason Charles Coe, at Aaron Coe 29. And without further ado, let's just jump into the football news of the week. Julio Jones getting traded to the Tennessee Titans. This moved all pretty quick. Considering, we knew he might have been gone for a while now, but it all just happened like he's going to get traded, and then he got traded like that.
Yeah, I thought, usually these things drag out for a bit.
Yeah,
so,
and even with the 24 to 48 hours report from Adam Schefter, it came out like an hour or two later. Interestingly enough, you've talked about how whenever a team gets a top-level wide receiver, they're instantly put in the contender category.
Every time.
So
we like our shiny new toys.
Yeah. So, interestingly enough, I have seen a little bit less of that with Julio Jones because I think people are still really concerned about the Titans' defense, particularly on third down. But still, it's one of those situations you're already seeing the pictures of A.J. Brown and Julio and Derrick Henry all next to each other.
Yeah.
I still see them as like a 9-7, 10-6 team personally.
Who's their quarterback?
I think Ryan Tannehill's solid, but he's not gonna. I don't know.
He's not going. He might not lose you a playoff game, but he's not going to win you a playoff game. He's not going to put the team on his back. But this certainly helps, and I would have loved to have seen him on the Seahawks.
Obviously, yeah. So there were reports that the Seahawks were in the mix for trading for him. Now I'm seeing other reports that they're potentially going out and looking for a cornerback, potentially calling Bill Belichick up for the former defensive player of the year, and Stephon Gilmore.
Wow.
Those are like really unsubstantiated reports, and anything like nothing's leaking from the Patriots side. So who knows with that, but. Yeah, a little bit sad to see him go, but not too worried because it's the Titans. If it's the Packers, it's maybe a different story, or there's plenty of teams out there that I'd be more worried about.
Do you think so the Seahawks supposedly were interested? Do you think they were like John Snyder's like, hey man, hey Titans GM guy, don't remember your name, hey man, I gotta call and I gotta be able to tell Russ that I asked about this. So I'm asking, not Titans GM, sorry, Atlanta GM.
I
screwed that up. Atlanta GM. I gotta tell Russ that I called you. So if he asks, could you tell him that I called you? Thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And tell Russ they tried.
Then he leaked the report that they were trying. Yeah. No, that actually could have been it, to be fair, but. When you see a second round pick and then swap a fourth and a sixth, you kind of consider why the Seahawks maybe didn't get in there, but also it was known that the Titans weren't trying to trade within the NFC, so that could have been part of it as well. Anyway, it'll be exciting to see him in a new spot, as it always is. Just, I don't know if the Titans is the most exciting spot to see him in. But
he's a guy I've always rooted for him because I don't usually watch a lot of the NFL Combine.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who else was in that draft. Maybe it was the Cincinnati guy. Is it Green? Oh, what the hell?
AJ Green?
AJ Green. I can't remember if they were in the same draft or not, but I'm watching Julio Jones. I'm like, that guy is big and he's fast. And I was watching his hands.
Right.
Like a natural catcher of the football.
Right.
So I'm like, this is going to be the best player in this draft. So I've always kind of rooted for that tape.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I like him a lot. He's 32 years old. So you wonder, how much does he have left exactly?
How much does Russ have left exactly, though?
Yeah, well, quarterbacks are going to last longer than skill players.
Right, but okay, let me rephrase that. How long is this current Seahawks potential contendency going to last? Like, how long is Pete going to stay here? How long is Russ going to be elite? How long is the roster going to look at least solid.
This could be Russ's last year. I mean,
so yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Let's not rule that out.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So train the 2023 second round pick or whatever, like that. I mean, maybe I'm just stressed and about this era ending and us falling into the Mariners abyss or whatever. But like, I don't know.
It seems like they go all in and then they don't. Like they don't. It seems like they're sort of all in on some, and then you get that all in feeling, and then they're like, "No, we got to plan for the future, the next." Like, they're a little schizophrenic in that way. So I don't know. I think the concern may be that Julio was injured last year. Some people think he might have been tanking it a bit, because he just why risk yourself for a crappy team. I would have traded a second round pick for him, but I might have regretted that. There's some guys I wanted last year that were terrible. Yeah. A couple of pass rushers that did nothing in the league. Yeah. I wanted them to bring back Clowney. He had 0 sacks. Yeah. So I'll be curious to see what Julio does. I mean, if he puts up 1,200 yards, he's never been a great red zone threat. That's weird thing.
Yeah, when you think of him as a red zone threat because he's big and fast, and he can get up and over people and high point the ball. But
I don't know.
So it's weird. It's like, is that you think it might be the Falcons system or something, but at some point when you're in the league this long,
you would think
he's got to have over 10. More than once.
Yeah, he's only had it once, right?
I think so.
Been a couple of years where he's had like 3.
Probably 5. Like half of his years, he's had 5 or less.
It's insane because he has everything you want in a red zone target. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they use him, considering they kind of lean on Derrick Henry pretty heavy. They have obviously him, AJ Brown. They just got, or no, never mind. They just lost Jonnu Smith, but they also got Corey Davis, who kind of a bust, but just an athletic freak. So, he's Corey Davis is good for like a 5 catch, 150-yard, 3 touchdown game once a year.
When he's on your fantasy bench.
Well, yeah, when he's on your fantasy bench. Exactly. Precisely. Yeah. Okay. Speaking of the Packers, Aaron Rodgers is not expected to attend mandatory minicamp. That starts Tuesday. Green Bay could opt to fine him $93K, but they could also opt not to fine him, which makes this a little interesting. You're trying to keep him. You're trying to, stitch together the relationship and keep him there. Do you choose to fine him for missing the mandatory camp?
No, you don't fine him.
I don't think you do. I think you have no option but to not.
You need
pretty
to
much
kiss his ass as much as possible if you want him back.
Yeah.
If you don't want him back, then fine him and take the money.
Yeah.
But I think they want him back, so I think they're gonna try. He's an interesting cat. Like he's not like maybe he's not going to play this year. I've always felt like he would.
Wasn't that my bold take that I thought he was going to retire?
Yeah.
Yep, I'm sticking with it.
You might be.
Isn't that funny?
Right.
Isn't that funny that I'm just forgetting takes? Like
I don't remember
I just spew bullshit. That's just
just remember the ones you were right.
Yep.
Or make them up.
Yeah.
That works great. We could have a freezing cold takes segment on our takes on this podcast.
There was a take I had at the beginning of the year for the NBA that I just it came to me as I was falling asleep last night that haunted me, and I can't remember what it was. I'm gonna have to go. There's got to be an episode where we had NBA preseason predictions. Right. Remember we did this for the NFL and exposed our terrible takes, particularly yours, not gonna lie. But I'm gonna have to go back for the NBA.
Maybe it was that the Lakers would win the championship.
That's probably that's one of them. Yeah, that's definitely one of them. What were you saying, Packer?
I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen here. It's gonna be one of these things where, he may just show up one day and that was his plan all along. Maybe I don't know.
This could be a test.
Who knows? I'm so confused on this whole thing. It's bizarre. I don't even know really what he's so angry about.
Yeah, it's a little confusing that it's just all bubbling up right now. I think that's what's confusing for me. All right, so let's move on to some playoff talk. So, Lakers got bounced. I think obviously the series is different if AD's healthy, and who knows
Sure.
how healthy LeBron was. I said that I thought LeBron was going to turn it up, and he did in a sense, but not really to the point of like attacking the hoop. He would come around a screen, see 3 guys, and just say fuck that, and just pass it. So, AD comes in for 5 minutes. It's just immediately obvious that he cannot play.
Yeah.
It was so clear instantly. Didn't even take a shot. Only played 5 minutes left for the rest of the game. And then, the Suns poured it on him. Credit to Devin Booker. He had 47. He had 31 or 33 in the first half. Frank Vogel didn't decide to fucking double team him until like the fourth quarter for some reason. So, I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to like try to make every excuse for LeBron because I feel like that's just lame. But the series is different if AD's healthy. Plain and simple.
It is. And then a couple of things that I noticed in what I watched. So first of all, I stand by it. LeBron was not healthy. There's he's going to have surgery or something. There's something going on there because, hey, I know he scored some and in some ways he looked okay, but he was not taking it to the rack with the regularity that he normally would.
In a closeout, if you look at his closeout game statistics, they're ridiculous.
Yeah.
And like he just either did not have the ability to turn it up or realize that we're not going to win championship anyway and just kind of quit, honestly.
And the way that the rest of the Lakers played, there's LeBron's former Cavaliers teammates going, shit, we were better than that. They were terrible.
They
were all terrible.
They were all fucking dog shit. So I'm not gonna take, and I don't think this is your take. I'm not gonna like, people for some reason just immediately like hopped on LeBron, and it's like there are like a laundry list of reasons why this doesn't affect LeBron's actual legacy.
Yeah.
Like he was hurt, AD was hurt, his entire team played like dog shit. He's 36 at the end of the day. Like he's 36. We kept talking about, it's amazing how he's 36 and doing this. So why are we going to shit on him when he does what 36-year-olds do?
Right. Yeah. I would shit on him a lot more if I thought he had been healthy, but I don't believe he was right. I think he was playing through something, and was able to do a lot of things, but not everything that he would normally want to be able to do. But yeah, I don't know how the rest of the Lakers were so just god awful.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
So this might have been before Game 6 actually, and these stats might have got worse. I sent you this tweet from @BlameYourParents on Twitter.
Perfect.
Yeah, it just says sickening. It's Ben McLemore, 37% to 33% from regular season to playoff 3-point percentage, and then I'll just read off. Dennis Schroeder -5%, Wesley Matthews -8%, Alex Caruso -11%, KCP -33%. He dropped from 41 to 8%. And then LeBron 37% to 40%.
I thought even with AD being a little bit injured that I thought like a Montrezl Harrell might do a little bit more.
They sat his ass for a while.
He didn't, like with AD being out. Why wasn't he like playing 5 minutes?
So yeah, he was struggling, and then Marc Gasol came in and did well. But with AD out, you would think you would play him more, and then this just goes to show how not valuable Andre Drummond is as a player. I mean, that he should have never been an All-Star. He should have in a world where Andre Drummond is a star player, he steps in for AD, and obviously he's never gonna do AD things, but he's not gonna be completely a fucking invisible ghost on the court at all times. Right. So there's this clip I saw of him. It's like, what are you even doing on the court? He like gets boxed out by Chris Paul, and it's like, oh, by the way, we'll talk about this too a little bit later, but Nets go up 2-0 on the Bucks. Joe Harris boxed out Chris Middleton and Giannis on the same play last night. It was disgusting. Anyway,
Joe Harris
boxed out both of them.
That's not a real NBA player. You're making shit up now.
Yeah. Okay, but let's talk about. You got anything else with the Lakers? Because I think I kind of said my piece.
No, I mean, I think most people expected them to win the title, but when your two best players, one of them is out and the other one doesn't look right. And nobody, I don't know. Yeah, total disaster. Haha.
Okay, we'll talk about, let's see, the Knicks get bounced. Julius Randle just played like dog shit. Tom Thibodeau pissed down his leg, and those are your most improved players and coach of the year.
Yeah.
Monty Williams of the Suns got fucking robbed, in my opinion, and he actually got more first place votes, but there were 19 voters that thought Quinn Snyder deserved a higher vote than it was Quinn Snyder and Nate McMillan deserved a higher vote than Monty Williams.
There were, I don't know if there's been a year where there's been more great candidates for that award.
Yeah. Oh, true. Yeah.
Like who do you I can't argue.
Steve Nash got a first place vote. That's fucking stupid. So with all those candidates, you're gonna put Steve Nash in the top 3?
Someone was like, if he can manage these freaking egos.
Yeah.
But no, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But those other guys, I mean, they all, in a lot of years, any one of them would have won Coach of the Year.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, I'm not pissed that Tibbs won by any. I mean, I'm never pissed about who wins the Coach of the Year. But I don't think. I mean, I think Monty got robbed. I don't think Tibbs didn't deserve it. I don't think Quinn Snyder necessarily didn't deserve it. And I think if Nate McMillan just took over the team a little bit sooner, I think he would have deserved it. Congrats to the Knicks on just a great season, though. I mean, that's the most fun, electrifying season, and maybe this century. Honestly, who knows? Maybe since Linsanity, for sure.
Does this put them in position? I don't know if it's this year or next year. Does this put them in position to finally land? They've been talking since the 80s about since Patrick Ewing left about we're creating space to sign a max contract guy. Does this put them in position to land somebody like that?
So the problem is, I need to see what did Julius Randle play himself out of some money this playoffs, you think?
Yeah.
I don't know what his contract looks like, but yeah, I think they have some room either way. This offseason, I believe, isn't great.
Yeah, so maybe next. Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. He had 2019, 2020. In the summer of 2019. Okay, so I think he's got one more year after this. Okay. So he'll be up, and there will be a great free agent class next year. So that'll be really interesting. I think a lot of it may come down to Tibbs, like what players like Tibbs.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I have no clue. I mean, Tibbs. I genuinely I have no clue if who likes Tibbs and who doesn't. So yeah, I think a lot of it will come down to that because the James Dolan effect is already there. So
yeah,
I think if the player isn't super fond of Tibbs and already will for sure hate James Dolan, then it's like they're just not gonna do it. They'll go somewhere else. Okay, so you got anything else with Knicks Hawks?
No.
We can also talk about the Hawks beating the Sixers in Game 1.
Yeah.
Embiid, I put some Monopoly money on the Hawks at +2.5 because I thought Embiid either wouldn't play or would have a limited impact. He dropped like 40 and 12 or something.
Yeah, he had a huge game.
Yeah.
Meniscus, apparently.
Yeah. Hawks just shot incredible. Bogdanovich almost shot them out of the game, though, down the stretch. He was 2 for 8 in the fourth quarter, 1 for 4 from 3. That 3 was fucking huge, though. If he didn't hit that 3, they'd probably lose that game.
Yeah. And the free throws, right?
And the free throws, yeah. 91% free throw shooter, so if he didn't knock those down, it would be, yeah. And by the way, the broadcast did mention that before he shot them.
Yes.
So he did, ultimately you're not going to think about this game if you're Bogdanovich, but scary one for sure. It showed the youth of the team. I feel the fact that they really if there was two more minutes in the game, they lose.
Yeah,
so and then also shout out to the Sixers for the great comeback. I mean the Hawks reacted to a full court press like a middle school team. Like it was bad.
I thought that game was over.
Definitely.
And they to their credit, they had a chance to steal it there at the end.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we also got the Nuggets beating the Blazers. My prediction.
Yeah.
Nuggets in 6. Although
time.
I miss Dame. I sent you a tweet, I think, like of a dead Apple Watch. It was like Dame time's run out.
Yeah, Dame time ran out of batteries.
Yeah, Dame time ran out of batteries. But yeah, I'm sad to see Dame out of the playoffs. It's weird not having like LeBron, Dame, it's really just LeBron or Steph. I think this is the first finals without LeBron or Steph since like 2010 or something.
Look at that! I sent you that image of the playoff teams, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Like
yeah.
Like it's been so
That's
long
right.
since any of the teams
right.
that are still left have won a title.
Yeah,
like
it's awesome.
Decades or never.
So I'm bummed to see Dame and LeBron out because I'm a fan of those two players. But as a neutral basketball fan with no team fandom, this is like I have never been more excited about playoff basketball.
Yeah, it's wide open.
So wide open.
The Nets look pretty formidable right now.
Yeah, so the Nets, that's the one.
They don't play defense either.
Yeah,
so
yeah. We'll talk about that in a sec. We have, let's see, who did the Bucks? The Bucks. Oh my God, who did the Bucks beat in the first round? Why am I? Oh, the Heat. They swept the Heat. That's right. That's why we already talked about
Jimmy
that.
time,
Yeah, Jimmy time. Yikes. Okay, yeah. So we also got Clippers Mavs in a wild game 7. Luka doing all he can. And after the game, he was asked if he plans to sign a Supermax extension. He just smiled and said, "I think you know the answer." That was Tim McMahon on the reporting. So, yeah, it sounds like he's coming back to the Mavs. And I'm not going to say I raised the question because I saw a Jimmy High Roller on YouTube. He's from Washington. Makes really interesting videos with like a lot of research put into them. He kind of put the question in my head, is Luka the best 22-year-old of all time?
Right.
I don't know. I sent you that video. Did you check it out?
I forgot to watch the rest of it. I watched a little bit of it.
No worries.
But I do want to,
So he basically broke it down into 7 categories and went really in depth. And I'll just spoil. Do you want me to spoil what he said or no?
No, go for it.
Off of his numbers, LeBron was the clear number 1, followed by I think Luka was 5th.
Oh wow.
Magic was 4th, and I got Amare Stoudemire was actually maybe 4th.
Wow.
Yeah,
would have never thought
because
of him.
because he was like leading along with Steve Nash, leading the Suns to those like conference finals, and he was looking like, and I think Karl Anthony Towns is up there. And he's kind of fallen off too. But yeah, the list, I don't remember it. But after watching his video, it seemed like LeBron had a pretty convincing lead over everyone else. But I think if we're just basing it, he based it off like, when we talk about the GOAT conversation, you talk about accolades and leadership and, I think if we're talking about just the best hooper at 22, I think it might be Luka Doncic. Magic led his team to 2 championships by the time he was 22.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to argue that.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a hooper like Luka is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
It is so, there are 4 guys that came to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did is I only looked up their 21-year-old season.
Okay.
Because Luka just played his 21-year-old season.
Yeah.
So the 4 guys that jumped into my mind, well, obviously Luka, Magic, LeBron, and Jordan were the 4 that popped into my head. Now, Jordan was a rookie that year, but he still averaged 28, 7, and 6. LeBron was 32, 7, and 7. Magic was 22, 9, and 9. His 20-year-old season, they won the title.
22, was he?
22, he won his second title.
Yeah.
But, hey, I mean, Luka didn't have,
he wasn't joining Showtime
all-time players around him. So it's hard. The title thing is very hard to evaluate.
How did the Lakers get that pick, by the way?
That's one thing I've wanted to look up for a while. I don't know. I think it was a trade.
Yeah, just a stupid-ass trade
that came through.
Yeah.
In a way that the other team obviously didn't expect. But I'd like to look that one up. I'd be curious as well. That's one of those things I used to know and forgot.
Yeah.
So it's very hard, as we've talked about, it's very hard to just look at stats when you're comparing eras. We've talked about quarterbacks, right? The 70s quarterbacks threw as many picks as touchdowns, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the NBA has changed a lot too. So, man, it's really hard. The one thing, my biggest knock on Luka is he's of those four that I brought up, he's, in my opinion, by far the worst defender of the four.
That's the thing.
But offensively, yeah, if you're talking about offense, passing, rebounds, yeah, he is the best. But I'm still a big defensive guy. And man, but I'm so conflicted on this. I would pick Magic personally. What he did in his first 3 years, starting at center in a NBA Finals game, Magic is 22 doesn't sound like a lot, but man, if you just watch that motherfucker play, it's ridiculous. And you see his highlights, but watch him for a whole game is amazing, and a lot of people haven't done that. But so I would still go with Magic, but I mean, Luka's offensive game is at his age is unparalleled.
Yeah,
there's no question about that.
So the two players I want to add to your argument of just their age 21 season are Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah.
So Kobe will.
I don't know why I didn't think about Kobe. That's a pretty obvious one.
I'll submit Kobe's 22-year-old season because he jumped from 22.5 to 28.5 at his 20. So he also had two championships by then. Now they were both Shaq's championships mostly. But his 22-year-old season he had 28.5, 5, and 6. And then his 22-year-old season he had 22, 5, and 6 as well. So yeah, and then Shaq had like 29 and 13 and like 2 or whatever. But how many blocks did he have actually? Blocks. Yeah, he had 2.5 blocks. And he also had 3 blocks his 21-year-old season actually. So, yeah. So those are the other two players I like to submit for your single season list. And those were also players that were covered in the Jimmy High Roller video, and also players that I actually thought of before I watched the video. But
Shaq might have been the hardest of all those to defend.
Yeah, that's
he was a beast unlike anything that had been seen.
So I don't know, like this makes sense in my brain, but it really probably doesn't make sense when I say it out loud. Like Shaq's physical dominance and like his unguardability as a huge man is similar to like Luka's as a dribbler and shooter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Luka is unguardable as a shooter and a dribbler because he can just step back in your face and you could defend it as well as you possibly can without blocking it, and it'll still go in. Same thing with Shaq, where he'll just body you no matter what.
And then Magic being the facilitator
of
the offense. It was
I think
anybody that's ever played at that age.
Yeah. I think ultimately I'm gonna take LeBron.
There's a
which
shot.
Is I know
wow.
And I really I didn't want to I genuinely because I didn't want to because I don't know, it's not interesting if I take LeBron, but I think he dragged that fucking terrible Cavs team to the finals. He was out. He said he put up 32 and like 7 and 7. So I mean that's just that's so crazy. And then but like I said, Kobe had 2 chips, Magic had 2 chips, so it's really kind of impossible to quantify. But and also Cat should be up there in the argument too. And Devin Booker dropped a 71-point game when he was like 20. So that's one of the best games of all time.
I have still never seen Cat play because he plays for the Timberwolves. I have not seen 1 minute.
That is so funny. Oh my god!
No, I'm watching good matchups.
Yeah, I know.
If I watch the NBA, which isn't all that often, I'm watching good. I'm not watching the fucking Timberwolves.
I know. It makes sense. Like, of course you haven't, but it's just so funny.
Idea. So I'm playing college, not the NBA. Yeah.
So basically, the thing is, at 21, 22, he was. I think when he was 21, there was a poll of all GMs, and it was like, who would you build around? It was like 17% LeBron, 17%, maybe it was Giannis, I don't remember, and then like 29% Cat. He was the number one vote getter by a lot over LeBron, and this was 4 or 5 years ago when LeBron just came off of like the most historic finals performance of all time.
Right.
So the problem is he just didn't really get better after that. He just kind of stayed there. So now you don't think of him as one of the best 22-year-olds of all time, but at the time, definitely, I think he was number 10 on the list. And he breaks it, the way he does it in the video, he breaks it down very analytically, and like he has a chart, he has like a point system and a chart at the end.
Okay.
So it's like everything's very numbers based for him. So, yeah, so I think you guys should check that out either way because it's just really interesting. But yeah, all right. Moving forward, what other series do we got? Who else lost? I think we covered all the first round series, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about. We already talked about that, and then Brooklyn, and the Bucks. The Bucks just look kind of bad. They're taking bad shots. And I mean the Nets are just cooking. Like Kevin Durant is just eating people. Yeah, I mean, what do you got for the first two games?
A couple of things. So, Giannis just, he's not going to have a jump shot.
Yeah.
Let's just say it. If he hasn't figured that out,
it's ugly as shit.
It looks ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I think the most disappointing thing to me is, I know Durant's really good, but he's not a kid anymore.
Mm-mm.
So you're the defensive player of the year, and you can't. I'm not saying lock him down, but he's tearing you to pieces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they put Drew Holiday on him because Giannis had him for a few possessions, and then they put Drew Holiday on him for the rest of the game because
it's like a fucking foot taller than Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Kevin Durant can shoot over everyone, but he can definitely shoot over Drew Holiday. Yeah. So
doesn't even have to jump to shoot over him.
No,
do an old 50 set shot over that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. And then the Nets just look like if they don't have Harden, doesn't matter.
Yep.
If they have two of those three guys there, it seems like they can score 150 points every night.
I forgot how they worded the hamstring injury, but they did the thing where they downplayed the language of it. Do you think Harden's just out now because he keeps injuring his hamstring? Like, is this it? Like, is this it for Harden this year? And is this where we're gonna see from Harden for the rest of his career?
I think he'll be back. I think he won't be back this series unless the Bucks win the next two.
Right, unless it gets muddy.
I think they're gonna
right hamstring tightness is what they called it.
Tightness, my ass.
Yeah.
You don't. Yeah. Hamstrings are just, I don't know.
No, he re-injured it. That's what happened.
Yeah, they're on the list of the most unpredictable. Not even the best surgeon in the world can tell you when it's going to be ready.
Yeah.
And then you think it's ready and you pull it again. So
I mean, just look at Will Fuller. That's all you need to see. Will Fuller injures his hamstring 3 times a year.
So I think we'll see him again, but we're not going to see him. They're leading the series 2-0. Like, why would you rush him back?
No, not yet. I mean, if it gets to honestly, not until Game 7.
Yeah.
To be honest, unless it looks really bad, not until Game 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the Nets. Let's make a prediction here. Also, one more thing I want to talk about. No, let's make a prediction first. Let's make a prediction. So, Nets up 2-0 going to Milwaukee now. I think the Nets take it in 6.
6?
6, yeah.
Do you think Milwaukee is going to win the next 2, or are they going to split it and then?
I think Milwaukee splits and then they take one.
Okay.
Take one in Brooklyn.
I think this is going to be a 5-game series.
I
think
almost
gonna split.
The reason I paused for so long is I almost said 5.
Yeah.
But I think I don't even like my pick, but I'm
either going to say 5 or fuck. I was trying to figure out which one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Milwaukee will win the next game, and then the Nets will just pour it on them again. They just can't stop them. They can't guard them. And the Nets don't play defense, but if Giannis can't shoot, you don't need a whole lot of defense.
Oh my God!
Who
And
do you have to guard on that team right now?
Fucking what's his name? Mike James. Like Mike James outscored fucking Chris Middleton in the first. Like what? I didn't even know that guy existed, man. He's like like Bruce Brown is out here killing. Like Bruce Brown was killing them last night. Bruce fucking Brown was taking it to the rack and killing them last night. Anyway, okay, well, let's move back to the Blazers for 1 sec because they did fire Terry Stotts. Also, yeah, by the way, the Luka contract breakdown would look like 34.7, 37.5, 40.3, 43.1, and then 45.9 in 2026 for that extension. But that, I mean, I assume that'll happen.
Yeah, they're gonna pay the guy.
Definitely.
It'd be crazy not to.
Okay, Terry Stotts is out of here. I knew he was one of the worst defensive coaches ever, statistically, and I initially I'm like, well, when you have Norman Powell and CJ and Dame on the court, that's gonna happen, and Enes Kanter.
Yeah.
But what I did not realize that he did, and this is because I don't watch a ton of games, and when I do watch games, I don't pay attention to the X's and O's. I don't research anything about coaches, for the record. What I did find out is he is 100% like he will not change his defense from going under screens. Every single time he wants you to go under the screen. You play against Steph Curry, we're not doubling him, we're going under the screens. Okay. So Steph can just pull from 2 feet behind the 3-point line for like 30 shots if he wants to.
Right.
So that's why they're so terrible, along with having Damon, CJ, and Norman Powell and Enes Kanter. Yeah. But yeah. So I think he had to go.
I do too, but why is the GM still there? He's put
that's
together
the other thing.
A roster that you can't win a championship with that roster.
Gary Trent is too much of a, just a small scorer like CJ and Dame. Let's trade for Norman Powell. Like what? That's the same player.
Trent could actually guard somebody.
Trent was a good defender. Yeah. And I think, I don't know.
So the GM's got to go. There will be a lot of people that say you can't put together a roster in Portland. Well, Scottie Pippen and played in Portland.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of good players go through there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like to go there and play there. Now their city is a shit show right now.
Right now it's rough, so they might have to have like a cleaning campaign for like a.
That may stop them from getting a baseball team.
Like, that's true. I didn't even consider that.
Yeah. No, I John Canzano, who's a columnist down there. That's kind of his take is that.
Shit. Like
5 years ago, Portland would have been a front runner for an MLB team. Now, unless they get their shit together, it may not happen. So, it would be a shame if they can't bring in some guys to help Dame win. I mean, who's their stretch forward that can score?
Yeah.
Which you need these days. I mean, they have a bunch of little guards that can't defend. What's his name? What's the other guard's name? Blanking on number 3, McCollum. He's a good player, but he's a number 3.
He's a number 3 on a championship team. He's the ideal number 3 on a championship team. Let me rephrase that because he's a great player. Borderline all-star, but
so fire the GM, Dame, start calling some guys and get them to come join you.
Well, one guy that Dame failed to get to come to Portland is fucking Jason Kidd.
Oh my God.
Thank God for Dame, honestly, that this happened. So this weird. Is the reason this story is more interesting to me, aside from Jason Kidd withdrawing his name, which is already interesting, like you're an assistant right now. But
that may have been hey, we're not going to pick you, so could you just withdraw your name? No?
Okay. So if you read the article, this is what makes it interesting. He says, Portland is a first-class organization. We'll have great candidates for its head coaching job, but I decided not to be one of them. Kidd was ultimately uncomfortable with the idea of pursuing the opening after Blazers star Damian Lillard publicly called for his hiring within hours of Stotts' departure on Friday night. The public nature of Lillard's endorsement, telling Yahoo Sports that Jason Kidd is the guy I want, left Kidd feeling that he would both put Lillard and Portland's process in an awkward circumstance should he pursue the opening. What does that even mean?
I don't know.
What does that even? What the fuck are you talking about?
Maybe he just doesn't feel like being a head coach. Maybe he likes
I
being an
guess.
assistant.
I guess.
He doesn't need the money.
Do you think it's a like not only is that big pressure when you're dealing with a superstar, and especially a superstar that's aging, but do you think like having Dame or being the guy that Dame wants, do you think that comes with too much pressure and he backed out because of that?
I mean, that's what LeBron does, right?
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know. It's weird. I don't really understand it. I think he must not feel. Ultimately, he probably doesn't really feel like he can win there for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that reason, or maybe it's other reasons. But
he was in a I think the short list of candidates so far for the Celtics coach too. So it'll be really. I mean, if he takes that one, that will make it especially interesting. And in that case, I would love to see a Celtics Blazers final where Dame tries to drop 65 on Jason Kidd's team's head every game.
Now maybe that could be one thing, but maybe LeBron was like, "Hey, you know that bitchy head coach that we have right now? I think I'm gonna whack him in the off season. So stick around.
Interesting.
Stick around, man.
Interesting. The thing is, I feel like Vogel has done a good job of staying in the background.
Yeah.
So I think LeBron likes that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. I fell asleep at 7:30 last night. I passed out. So I missed the Suns and Nuggets game. Suns won 122-105. It looked like no particularly dominant performance from anyone on the Suns. Just the whole starting lineup had like 15 plus points pretty much. Yeah. So, I mean, what'd you see from that game?
I didn't watch a ton of it. Mm-hmm. I was working quite a bit last night, but when I was watching it, it was a close game really until the middle of the fourth quarter, if I remember right. Mm-hmm. It was close most of the way. The first half was great. I did watch some more of that.
Nice.
And I kind of kept, okay, is it going to get close?
Yeah.
If it does, I'll sit down and really watch it. But yeah, they just kind of, it was a group collective effort. Mm-hmm. And they looked really good. They continue to surprise, I guess.
Yeah, you asked me who I was rooting for while I was asleep, and I have some fake money on the Nuggets.
As do I.
Yeah. So obviously that would be nice for them to win, but just from a neutral basketball fan interest perspective, I would love to see Chris Paul and Devin Booker in the conference finals. I think that'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. So especially against the Clippers, I can see them just talking mad shit to the Clippers. But yeah, so I'm excited for this series to move forward.
Yeah, I like, the ex-reporter in me still roots for a story, and mm-hmm. the Suns with Chris Paul coming, shoulder injury,
right.
Is he even going to be able to play?
Mm-hmm.
That's a hell of a story.
Yeah.
So it'd be fun to see them
advance. Definitely. And also, I want the Nuggets to do their thing when they have Jamal Murray. I just it'd be great. Although, it would be cool to see Jokic go on a Dirk kind of run.
Yeah.
And just take out everyone. But so like I said, I think that's maybe the number one series I'm excited for moving forward. But what else? I mean, what games do we got tonight? We have what games do we have tonight?
I don't remember.
So yeah. No, it's good. Shoot. We got We got Hawks Sixers and we got Clippers Jazz game 1. That's right.
Okay.
So, Hawks, as I said, beat the Sixers, almost pissed down their leg. Who do you got tonight? Phillies -6.
I have to believe that Philly is going to bounce back and win this game.
I do too.
I just don't. I mean, I like Atlanta. I don't think they're that good. They're not going to sweep.
Now give me the spread, the shit show, -6.
I don't like that at all. I wouldn't bet that.
Okay, and then let's see.
Money line only for that game.
Yeah, for real. Okay, over under 224.
You know me, I'm usually going to bet the over.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at what those teams typically do enough to really have a strong opinion on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of points, though. For two teams that do at least try to defend.
Yeah. Okay, and then we got Clippers, Jazz. Utah's -3 at home, so that's about an even line. Who you got winning the game?
Which Clippers team is going to show up?
It's so hard to say.
I don't know. I mean, they're a bunch of kind of weirdos.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You don't know where they're at mentally. I think is a lot of it. I generally think that the Clippers are really the better team. With having a guy that's been the 2-time Finals MVP.
Yeah.
But I guess I'd pick the Jazz probably.
Give me the Jazz. Yeah. I think, did we just agree on every pick? Both picks?
Maybe.
Yeah. Give me the Jazz. Okay, how about this? Let's make a series prediction though.
I'm gonna go Clippers.
Clippers? Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna feel like
Clippers in
7.
Clippers in
It's gonna be a
7.
good series. I think it's gonna be a good series.
I think Donovan Mitchell. Oh shit! No, I can't bet against Kawhi in Game 7. Oh shit!
So you're gonna go 6?
I'm doing the exact thing I did with Nuggets Blazers, where it's either Nuggets or it's either Clippers in 7 or Jazz in 6.
Yeah.
Give me the Jazz in 7. Fuck it, man.
All right.
Let's just do it.
All
Let's just
right.
do it.
Yeah.
Let's just do it. Donovan Mitchell's gonna drop 52
There you go.
and beat
Could
the
be.
Clippers
Could be.
in Game 7. Okay, yeah. Do you have anything else with that series?
No.
Okay. And then series prediction for Hawks Sixers.
I don't know how you can pick the Hawks.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
But man, they keep surprising us though. But no, I got to go Sixers. Assuming Embiid, obviously he looked just fine.
Sixers in.
I'll go. Who's the high? So the Sixers are the higher seed. I'll say. I think they'll win Game 6 down in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got them winning 2. You got the Hawks winning 2 games then. Another one after this one.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm gonna take Sixers in 7.
Okay.
I think this one's going 7-2.
All right.
I think this one's going 7-2.
I'd like to see it. I like Game 7s.
Yeah. I think Trae Young's gonna pour it on him a couple more times. Okay, Nuggets and Suns. Suns winning Game 1. I think this one's going 7-2, and I think D-Book's gonna take it in Game 7. I think the Suns in 7. What do you got?
I'm gonna go Nuggets in this one.
Nuggets in.
So they'll be playing.
They just lost one on the road.
I don't think they're gonna win 4 out of the next 5 games. So I'll go Game 7.
Okay.
I'm picking 2 road teams in Game 7.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Probably not super smart, but
that's interesting.
I just think that the Nuggets have I don't know. They've just got a couple players who can, really light it up. So I'll go there.
Okay, so let's talk about the Seahawks punter. That's interesting, right?
Big balls.
Yeah. Big balls got extended. So we got 4-year, $14.5 million that can get up to 16. 10.6 over the first 2. Someone was like ripping on the Seahawks for how much they spent on kicker and punter, and it's like 4% or 5% of our cap. And here's the thing, man, if you got a good kicker and a punter, that's fucking worth it.
Yeah.
That is so worth it if you got a good kicker and a punter. But
that's not big money. That's backup linebacker money.
Exactly. Then that is so. If you have a good kicker and a punter, 5% is more than worth it. 10% is worth it if you got a good kicker and a punter. But
he's the best player on the Seahawks.
Honestly, yeah.
He's not the most important player on the Seahawks. Don't get those two mixed up. But he's arguably the best punter in the league. He's certainly one of the top 3 punters in the league. So yeah, I think you got to keep the guy you drafted him. That's not huge money. So I'm okay with. 4 years. He's gonna make about max of $4 million a year. That's
fine. Yeah,
that's fine. I'm okay with that.
That's fine.
I would have if they would have paid him $9 million a year. I would have been like, okay, that fuck that. But no, and plus I like the dude.
Yeah.
I like him.
Okay, time for Mariners talk, so you guys can just skip about 5 minutes for Clown of the Week.
Everybody's on
Yeah.
10 seconds, 10
Yeah.
seconds, 10 seconds.
Yeah, okay. So do the Mariners suck? Probably. They're down 4 games in the wild card, which is
They
fucking
just keep hanging
so.
on, though.
Which okay, here's what that tells me. That tells me that Scott Service is not a bad manager.
Yeah.
And that tells me that the culture within the clubhouse is fucking great.
Yeah.
And it has been for probably the last few years. That's what that tells me, which is really exciting. Now we got to talk about Jared Kelenic. Well, actually, let's talk about the good one first. Logan Gilbert's looking solid.
Yeah, he's been better every start.
Yeah, which is, and a young starting pitcher, I'm not going to rush him. A young starting outfielder, I'm not going to rush him either. But, yeah, Kelenic, 0 for 39, gets sent down, batting below the Kelenic line, which is 100. Yeah, so I texted you and asked you, like, honestly, are you worried? I'm definitely not going to be the guy that, like, completely writes off a young prospect, but I have too much Mariners trauma for me to not be absolutely terrified that Jared Kelenic is, in my mind, it's like, oh my God, this is Dustin Ackley. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm not saying he's Dustin Ackley. I'm not saying I think he's going to be Dustin Ackley. I'm just saying that's where my anxiety is taking me.
See, and I've had so much Mariners trauma that I don't even have hope to begin with. Right?
Yeah.
I was once like you. A prospect would come up, and then there were a couple like Griffey and A-Rod that worked that obviously worked out immediately.
Yep.
But there's been enough that I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll believe it when he gets here. That's always my attitude. So yeah.
Well, also, Dustin Ackley had, like, a great rookie year.
Yeah,
Not a
he
great
did.
rookie year, but
Solid.
for a rookie, very solid rookie
Yeah.
year. So, anyway.
Yeah, DePoto just, had some comments just here like an hour ago or something like that. And, basically what he said was a lot of people are second-guessing us bringing him up then. I thought it was weird. So I'm like, okay, they didn't bring him up to start the season. And we've talked about the service time thing.
Uh-huh.
If you're an MLB owner, yeah, you manipulate the service time. Everybody would do it. You're stupid not to. It's a stupid rule. It's a stupid agreement.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're going to do that. To get
Yeah, I
another
mean,
year,
you use the
guy.
rules to your advantage.
I thought it was weird that, okay, if you're going to keep him down for a bit, you only have him play 6 games.
Yeah.
Like, let him
Yeah.
go through a little struggle in the minors.
Yeah.
Let him see the same team twice and
'Cause-
make adjustments on it.
Am I wrong in thinking he didn't particularly have, like, the greatest start in the minors?
He was tearing it up.
He was tearing
pretty
it
good.
up? Okay.
Not insane, but he was.
Oh, no, he just had a bet. Never mind. I was
was
thinking,
tearing it
I
up.
was thinking, never mind. I'm so dumb. I was thinking of his time up in the,
Oh,
the
okay,
I was
yeah.
just thinking of like 2 weeks ago, but yeah.
And then so Service basically said we felt that was the right time to bring him up. And then basically he said if he would have torn it up, we would have been criticized for keeping him down.
See, that's the thing.
Just shut up, dude. Like,
Yeah.
stop. Why do you even listen to that noise anyway? And then the other thing he said though was that he was early on, even though he wasn't hitting a lot, they were pleased with his at bat. So he was hitting the ball fairly hard when he hit it.
Getting deep into counts.
He was getting deep into counts. He was drawing walks, but basically he said like the last 10 days he's looked frustrated and
Okay.
and a little bit lost. So they see it as we just want to reset him, give him a breather, have him work on a couple things and bring him back up.
I want to hear. I mean, it's tough because I don't want like reporters to pile on him or whatever. But I want to hear what his thought process is like right now. But like not in a. I want to hear what his thought process is in like a I'm talking to him while he's in the cage type of thing. Not like in a press conference.
Right.
Like I just want to talk to him.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I'm terrified, but hearing what you just said makes me feel a little better. Yeah, I don't pay enough attention to the Mariners or the Major League Baseball currently to really have a strong opinion on any of this.
It's not a good thing.
It's
So going 0 for 39 is not good.
Yeah.
He was, I think, 5 for his last 75. He had 8 hits. 3 of those were in his second game.
Yeah.
it's not good.
No.
I'm not. I mean, we can't say it's good. How bad is it? Is to be determined.
I think it's dumb that Dipoto was listening to the noise, but I do tend to agree that it would have been we would have brought him up too late, and now people are saying like we brought him up too early. So it's a no-win situation when it comes to a prospect like this. There's always going to be some people mad, especially if the prospect doesn't appear to be working out right away.
Yeah.
Then it's like, no matter whatever you did was wrong.
In sports, you're going to get second guessed no matter what you do.
And I'm beginning to think that it's really more up to the player. Like, the more I think about this, the more I just think it's 100% up to the player whether they're a bust or not. Yeah. That's what I'm beginning to think. More in baseball, when it's like a quarterback in football, you can really fuck up a quarterback.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, I think he needed to go down. I
yeah.
don't think there's any question.
No, I agree. Yeah.
I think that was the right thing to do, so you don't Ackley him, you don't completely ruin him, Zanino him.
Mm-hmm.
Evan
Whitehem.
Yeah, no kidding. I think when he comes back up, we got to see something. If we don't, then he's gonna go into that. He's a quad A player type thing.
I'm really excited
he's still
about.
Young.
Yeah,
he's 21 or whatever. He's still young.
I'm really excited about Julio Rodriguez at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got intentionally walked to see Jose Bautista.
Yeah,
which is fucking crazy.
It is, yeah.
Jose Bautista obviously isn't the same, but. It's just wild. Shout out to Julio. He also hit like a walk-off home run or a go-ahead home run off of John Axford, former major leaguer. So, really excited for him
until he learns English. So.
yeah. Don't even bring him up until get him on fucking Babbel until he can. Yeah.
No, I'm excited. I am somewhat excited about him, but again, with all these guys. Cal Raleigh, the catcher, looks really good. Until these guys hit in the major leagues, I'm sorry, I just don't get all that excited because
what would be a dope player to have right now? Chris Taylor. Be a dope player to have right now.
Yeah, good thing we got rid of him.
Yeah. Cool.
Omar Narvaez is tearing it up too.
Let's just stop talking about the Mariners now. You got anything else?
No, fucking just do something, you idiots.
Well, let's just play the music that we're feeling right now.
Woo, baby!
Yeah, it's the Howard Schultz Clown of the Week.
The Clown
Spoiler alert.
of the Week.
It's us for being Mariners fans. No, not really. My Clown of the Week, if you don't mind me going first, is Daryl Morey. Got fined $75K for each social media, or $75K, and the Sixers got fined $75K for a social media post that he made. Steph Curry made a tweet just after he torched the Wizards, and Daryl Morey just said join him. He's obviously like the GM or whatever for the
stupid.
So what makes this extra stupid is he did this earlier this year when the trade talks for James Harden were happening, and he got fined $50K. So he already knew that this was gonna happen, and he just got him and his team fined. And this. What, is this going to draw Steph Curry to Philly? Like, is this Daryl Morey tweet is going to be the draw for him? Is that what's going to, he just literally cost him and his team $150K to get some likes off. So that's some clown shit in my opinion. Yeah. And I don't even think anyone really saw this either. So yeah, clown. Anyway.
So I wanted to do a quick shout out to triple clown Bob Baffert. Forever. But he's not my real clown of the week.
Yeah.
My clown of the week is LeBron James.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
He took his talents off the floor and left the building with 10 minutes left in the game. Yeah. What kind of teammate is that?
Teammate that's 36 and needs training
stop.
after.
You can wait 10 fucking minutes for your training.
I know.
I'm
not going to defend that. Yeah, that was lame.
He's a me guy. I don't like me guys.
Okay, I'm not gonna listen to that. He's not a me guy.
He's a me guy.
No, that was just a dumb move, and he should have stayed. But that's ridiculous.
Clown of the week.
Okay.
LeBron James.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever, man. Okay, so let's move into our. That was a pretty quick clown of the week.
Yeah.
Let's move into our lock and our player of the week. Do you want to go first? And also, which one do you want to choose?
Lock of the week, Nets over 235.
What percent of your locks have been Nets over?
It hits like almost every
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need the Bucks to score a little bit though.
That's the thing.
Come on, Bucks.
They need
Give
to
me
shoot
90 points.
They need to
okay?
shoot better than like 40% from the field for that to happen. But yeah. Okay. My lock is going to be Utah -3 tonight. I just think Utah's gonna come out fiery and they're gonna win. I don't think the Clippers are gonna come out with a real sense of urgency. So yeah, give me the Jazz -3. And then my player of the week. Ooh. My player of the week is going to be Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
I think, Embiid obviously had this monster game. I think they're not going to be able to rely on him having that many touches and having that high of a usage rate throughout the playoffs. And maybe they will. Maybe the meniscus thing is like pretty much all better, but I think Tobias Harris is going to get leaned on pretty heavy, and I think he'll torch Bogdanovich. So
yeah, I could definitely see that. I don't think Bogdanovich is the best defender in the world.
No. So yeah, what you got?
So maybe I might be a week late on this, but I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna see if he can continue what he's done so far. So my player of the week is gonna be Blake Griffin.
Ah, yes.
He can dunk.
He can dunk. He yammed on Giannis last night, and he also had a really nice putback. He's been all over the floor diving.
Yeah.
I don't know what he ended with last night.
That dude really wants a ring bad.
Yes.
I've never seen him play like that.
He's turned into like Draymond Green out of nowhere. Like it's crazy.
So I watched like the beginning of that game. Immediately he's on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
He's diving for a ball. He's pulling it out of the other guy's hands. I've never seen that type of heart from him.
He has 7 points and 8 assists. 7 points and 8 rebounds, and I think 6 of his 7 points were dunks. So
yeah.
So
in the first game he had what did he?
Or
have?
no, he had 2 dunks and a 3-pointer.
There you go.
That's what Blake Griffin had last night.
Yeah.
And then the game before he had
16 and 14 or something like that.
18 and 14.
18 and
That's
14.
what it was.
Yeah.
18 and 14.
So he's not. I'm not saying he's gonna put up 30 and 10.
Yeah.
What I am saying is he's a key defender.
Mm-hmm. If you watch the game, you will see that he's the player of the week.
I think just about every NBA Finals winner has to have a guy that just is a pain in everyone's ass, and he's kind of become that guy. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be the big three. They're not those kind of players. He's gonna be gritty. I've been super impressed with what I've seen from him for a guy that looked like he was done.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing to see. He
came back to life. I'm starting to wonder if he kind of Vince Cartered that last season with the Pistons, but he was injured, so who knows? I feel like that's becoming more common now. The like not try until I leave type of thing. But Blake Griffin, I will say I personally like Blake Griffin just because he's hilarious. Like
he is.
He's done he's appeared on a bunch of podcasts that I like, and he does like a charity stand-up comedy thing every year where he follows some of the best stand-up comedians in the world and still kills. No. So I don't know. I just like him personally, and it's cool to see him just kind of grind it out on the floor, in a way that we haven't seen really his whole career. So without further ado, you got anything else?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, like, comment, subscribe, all the dumb YouTube shit, notifications or fucking whatever. And then with that being said, also follow us on Twitter at Mason Charles Co, at Aaron Co 29. Got the book High Points. Check it out on Amazon. Got a hardcover, softcover, and ebook. And without further ado, peace out.
See ya.